Shidduchim podcast.
Hey everybody, it's IJ, Avery, Nobody Talks Shidduchim podcast, episode 58, Other Ways to Meet Modox Dating. We're going to talk about a few different things here. I would like to introduce to you our two co-hosts today, our guests. We've been planning this for months. We flew him in. People were asking, they voted, they Instagrammed us. The ballots were probably rigged because we hired that company. But anyway, we flew him in from Nashville. It's Shlomo from Nashville, everybody. Clap. Yeah. Go close to the mic. Okay. And we have Ally here today. Ally.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, okay, welcome.
Honored to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. I bestow the NTS contributorship to you. You are dubbed a NTS contributor. It happened. There you go. Better than what the Queen would have, done after she raised your hand and you get royalty. Anyway, so we're going to be discussing other ways to date. So, as you know, there's Shidduchim, and that's what we talk about on this podcast, but there also is another outlet that you can pursue, and we've touched up a little bit on this. And in this episode, we're going to discuss those other ways to date. Okay, episode 58, we're here with Ally, we're here with Shlomo from Nashville, and who are you again? Hello, Avery. Avery. So we're discussing... They don't pay me enough for this. We're discussing there are many ways to date, right? There are many ways to date. It's not just a Shadchan, or it's not just, paying someone to find you going through a matchmaker, but you can meet on other platforms, in person, online, parties. So there's a plethora of proper ways to do things, wrong ways to do things. Shlomo, tell us about Tell us about the apps.
So I'll tell you.
What do you have?
Two of my healthiest and most fun relationships have come from meeting a girl on Jswipe or Hinge. One was Jswipe and one was Hinge. They each are very different. Jswipe has a lot of nonsense out there, and you just kind of have to filter out the either girls, or if you're a girl, you're looking for a guy that are not serious. Mm-hmm. But ultimately, if you weed out the beans, as we like to call it, from the cholent, and you get to the meat, then you'll have some good quality people there. And then if you're good at judging character, you can actually meet very, very good, healthy people and have a healthy relationship. And that was where I found one of my most healthiest, best relationships.
It worked out for you?
Well, it worked out for about 3 months.
Oh, is that a long time in the dating app community?
I would say that's a good amount of time. Most people go on one date and one and done and don't go back. But I met a couple of girls through Jswipe after judging them, on their personality, if they're nice, if they're genuine. Going out with them, they typically are nice. And this one girl, she was a really sweet girl, ends up after 3 months, not for me. The next person met on Hinge during Corona, and this was probably like the healthiest and the funnest relationship I've had. It lasted about a year. Ultimately, it came down to fundamentals, and we needed to separate for a number of reasons. But it was a good experience from the sense that we ended it off on good terms, and we both agreed that we both had a good time and had no regrets, and we ended off on excellent terms, and I think it was successful.
See, what you just pointed out there was we. So you're taking responsibility, and you're the one who's initiating, you're the one who's planning. She has to yield or just go along with it, not yield. So there's a trepidation from people who are getting set up through a Shadchan, that, I don't want to have to deal with that. I don't want to have to deal with that.
That's correct.
Is it,
yep.
Ally, should people be a little bit fearful of that taking that responsibility and having to set yourself up, having to break up, having to go out, having to do that communication? Because in Shidduchim, you don't have to do that at all.
like seeing dating like another chore almost, like checking
It's
the
a chore,
apps as like a morning
Yeah.
routine. Like I do the dishes, I'll check the apps. Did I get any messages? Exactly. I hate that. Personally, I feel like it's just so personal. For me, dating apps are so like, why automate something that I just personally want to feel as more organic, just more organic, really. And so I just I definitely feel like apps are good for when you need that quick fix relationship, like you're lonely, like you're deeply lonely, or you're in a foreign country and you're looking for companionship, then dating apps can be super useful then. But it's like do you want to tell your kids we met on an app? If you do, yes. For me, I would just rather not. I don't see that as part of my journey. But I feel like it's so personal.
Don't you guys see the difference between dating apps and Shidduchim? Is that in dating apps,
There's a big difference.
well, one of the big differences is that nobody's really there looking for marriage, necessarily. Within Shidduchim, you're stuck in a marriage mindset. So
here's the thing.
people are a little more serious. Like, you're going to go out with somebody, you know they're pretty serious. They're sort of, they're committed to marriage. Doesn't mean that they have all their eggs in their one basket. Like, people are nuts in Shidduchim, trust me. We've gone out with plenty of them. You know, we've seen them.
You have a story? Tell us.
I think it's so amazing for, like what you said, for girls, because it's so beneficial. A lot of girls are trying to, like, settle down, even on the apps. Like, yes, they're on an app. They may be on Tinder, but doesn't mean they're trying to see, like, guy after guy. They might want something long-term and be on an app. Like, it's super common for girls. So, because girls don't really like quantity over quality.
So wait a second.
To generalize, but still.
I grew up. I grew up on the west side of Borough Park, where I went to yeshiva, Black Hat, and I got out of the freezer very recently. So wait, Shlomo from Nashville, Yidden are on Tinder?
Tinder I can't speak of. Jswipe, Hinge, yes, plenty.
Hinge.
Hinge,
Okay.
Hinge, plenty.
Oh, we're only
Plenty.
talking about Jewish dating apps?
Yes.
Hinge is
that
not a Jewish
eliminates a
dating
lot.
app.
Wait, that changes
No,
the
but
entire
Hinge is
You-
not
you tell
Jewish
me.
though. Hinge is a regular
Hinge is like everyone.
dating app. It's got everyone, but
Okay.
people who self-identify as Jewish, and you can actually set your settings to only show you girls who are Jewish.
Oh, really? Is that
Yep.
Tinder Plus, or is
It's,
that?
I like Hinge. Pretty.
Is that similar to Disney Plus? I haven't met anyone on there yet, except a few princesses from
Let me watch this
Saudi
stuff.
Every
Arabia.
Jewish girl when
and
I
the
was in
forest.
Shidduchim was also a princess, by the way, just so you know.
I actually didn't. What do you think of Jswipe and J? What's the other one?
There's another one.
Jswipe and Jdate.
Jdate.
Yeah, I don't use those. I just use Jswipe and Hinge.
Hinge is
I found a lot of success from Hinge, and people give a lot of details about their personality, about their pictures, about their personal life. You can gather from a profile, so you can get kind of a better picture than a resume.
What
That's
does
one
that say
benefit I
about
find.
someone who doesn't have much up? So let's just take two opposite sides of the spectrum. So for myself, let's say if I were to create a Jswipe account,
What were you looking at?
the camera,
Oh, God.
the people,
I'll match with you.
would see amazing things like, high school captain of the basketball team, then a cute emoji.
Captain of Quidditch.
SSSK, etc., etc. Now Avery's probably would just not say anything.
Mine would have facts and the
It
truth.
would have the sure.
In your
Well,
Hinge
that's why.
profile?
What?
In your Hinge profile?
On my dating
This
app
is more for
profile.
Hinge. Jswipe is mostly pictures,
So
brief description. Yep.
is there a difference between what you're posting, what you're putting on the profile?
Yes. Hinge gives you a bunch of prompts for you to pick from, and you can choose from dozens of prompts. You could choose 6 of them, and then you respond to those prompts depending on your personality. So 2 truths and a lie is one of them.
So there's no profile.
You can there's no
like
place to put a bio.
There's no
like
bio.
It's really
Questions.
annoying. A lot of people don't like it. It's like you have to say like my favorite color is blank. It's like who cares? It's like questions like if I had my biggest
So you have to pick good ones,
You have to
right?
pick
So
good
like that's a
ones.
boring one. 2 truths and a lie I think is a great one.
Didn't we play
I
that on the
literally always
Shabbatones?
rebel against them and make it like
Depends on your
I don't
personality.
know. I hate them.
Right. Interesting.
Ali, do girls like on Jswipe or even let's say by the way online dating? So saw you at Sinai, YU Connects, Svarta Meet, Black People Meet, wherever you're
Farmers
going.
only.
That's what we done.
What was that?
Farmers only.
Yeah, farmers only. Yeah.
That's my favorite.
I know, yeah.
That's my favorite.
on meetups.
Yeah, so on there. So you're
SugarDaddy.com.
you're swiping through the profile, and like a guy has nothing written there. What are the girls thinking?
Does not matter at all. Everybody's just on there to look at what you look like. It's so superficial. You're not going to establish a connection with anyone anyway. Girls know that.
So based on these apps, you think people are only looking at pictures and just like, what does this person look like? And that's all they're basing their judgment up on going out with them for?
Well, I would
similar to Shidduchim though. I mean, there's no difference really.
I mean, you're meeting in person in Shidduchim, right?
But people got pictures beforehand.
Okay, so it's a quick yes or no thing. And
essentially.
Then, okay.
And the guys, we just did a Shabbaton. We ran like a 50-plus person Shabbaton. And the guys who have all responded, we got all their feedback. And majority of guys didn't even respond, don't want to go out with anyone, don't think it's for them. Why? Because they weren't attractive enough. They,
makes perfect
whatever
sense.
it is. It's just
the way of the world. Don't hate the player, hate the game.
You want me to marry? You want me to marry?
No one's saying that.
Someone who I'm not attracted to?
Maybe.
I'm just saying. But anyway,
no one's saying that. But you have. That's not the point. The point is like you have to give some.
You think it's like a little superficial on the apps?
I think it's superficial in general, but it's the only practical way to do things. Meaning, no one's going to go out with someone they don't know what they look like.
So here's the thing. Let's say you have a 9 to 6 job and you work 5 days a week. You don't take vacation. You don't have breaks. You don't go to parties. How do you meet?
That's a good question.
I think
it's not through Shidduchim, how else do you do it?
Oh, so exactly. That's see. This is why there are so many overwhelmingly, Orthodox Jewish people, whatever your hashkafa is, yeshivish, modern, from whatever, they're going to naturally fall into Shidduchim at some point because it's easy. You hire an agent, and they're shopping around for the best contract for you. In the NBA, right? LeBron, Michael, Kobe, Shalom. So that's what you're doing with the Shabbatones. You have everything's moving in the corner.
The difference is they don't have your best interests in mind.
Oh, with an app, that's a whole other thing.
With an app, and when you meet somebody in person somewhere through a friend, you would hope, right? If you go to a party,
you're your own. Yeah,
you have your own discretion. Shadchan can only send you a certain amount of things. They send you their best interest, and they're not revealing all their cards. Right, they're not showing you everything that they have. So an app, you could see basically everyone. You can make your choice, whatever that is. I'm not saying it's the best way to do it.
An app is also like way lower stakes. It's like, what are you looking for? If you want to get married, it's a clear, go to a matchmaker. But if you literally are just like, I need a friend, I work, like I'm lonely, like there's so many reasons you could be on an app and only one reason you're at the matchmaker. You know what I mean?
Right. If you're looking for a house and you need a house next week, you go to a broker, right? If you just like passively looking, you're going to go on Zillow and browse hundreds of houses.
Exactly. Yeah.
Same idea.
Good comparison.
What's this dating app? Zillow, you said?
That was a great dating app.
I found a lot of matches.
Well, that's really the problem, though, with Shidduchim, though. Like Ali, like we were saying, you go to a matchmaker if you want marriage, right? And we in Shidduchim, right, we go to matchmakers because we have this anxiety that we're not going to get married on time. It comes from this fear, right? 19-year-old girls, I don't know if you're aware or not how like the system works, right? 19-year-old girls come back from Israel and they're expected to start dating. They're expected to be married, right? 22, 23, 24-year-old guys, right? Before they've never had relationships before in their lives. They're expected to get married at this age, right? Right after they start, they never had jobs. They couldn't hold down anything, right? And they're expected to be married. And it creates this pressure dynamic on people where before they even start and get into like a real relationship, there's stakes that are so raised, right? There's engagement stakes and there's marriage stakes, and to expect young people to navigate it is a big ask. It's a big ask. Despite the Jewish people, they could do a lot. They could walk through the Kriyas Yamsuf, but this is hard. I don't know. So I don't have a good answer for it.
Let me set up a situation and then create some overture into the next topic. So basically, I decided recently, I got out of a relationship, and I decided to
I feel like we should clap for that. I don't know. It seemed like
I don't know
like an awkward
clap for it, but sure.
We love single IJ.
They know.
Single IJ.
And I decided that I need a rebound, so I set up a
the audience is not pleased.
I set up an boo. Right,
he's single.
They set up my assistant set up a profile for me. I was like, "What is it?"
My assistant. Sounds so cool.
Yeah, but not me.
You should make your bio, my assistant set this up for me. You would get so many matches.
Oh my God.
You would get so many matches.
Let me just email her here.
Yeah.
So basically, we set up this profile. I have the profile, okay? I have the profile, and what happens is I'm like thinking, and I had this discussion with you, Shlomo from Nashville, when we vetted you to fly you in and everything. I decided that like it's a good way to connect on social media. So what you do is I figured out I concocted a plan where I'm going to match with someone and then I'm going to say, hey, here's my Instagram. Give me yours. We'll follow each other, and I get a little bit into your life. You'll get into a little bit of my life, and we'll see how if we can make some matzo ball soup. So basically, I get a match. I'm like, yeah, I got a match. This is great. And I message the girl. I get matched right away. I message the girl. I say, hey, I found it to be more successful. I wrote a whole message to connect on social media, Instagram. Here's my account. Let's follow each other. And she was very open-minded. She waited about 3 seconds to block me. The match was ended. So I'm like, okay, I didn't have much mazel there. I'm ready for round 2. I said, I'll just say hi, talk a little bit, and then Shine, we'll take it from there. So the next girl I get matched with, and I connect with her, and I start messaging, hey, how are you? I'm good. Oh, amazing. Hey, let's, getting to know each other. Thanksgiving, turkey, cool. All right. Hey, let's follow each other on Instagram, And she's like, oh, okay, cool. So she follows me on Instagram. She gives me her thing. She looks on, and then I see she follows me. I follow her. And then all of a sudden, I'm unfollowed. She blocks me. The match is over. Okay, she saw the goods, and she didn't like it. So now I'm like, okay, forget. This plan is not working. You have to know when to quit.
IJ, have you ever gone fishing?
Yes.
So when I go fishing in Lake Okeechobee...
Wait, I got to finish the story because this is the last one.
Don't interrupt the story.
So now what happens is that I say, okay, I'm gonna yield. I'm pandering. I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna, tell me about the fish on your profile, whatever. So I get matched with another girl, number 3, finally, my 3rd match ever. And I'm like, this girl actually looks cute. And you know what? She's orthodox and she's kosher. I'm like, this is good. So I start talking to her, and it's going well. And she's like, oh, where were you for Thanksgiving? I'm like, oh, I was with the family. My sister came over, and she's like, oh, I was with the family too. No way, LOL. My sister also came over, and I'm like, oh, LOL. Look at us familying. Because there's a thing. You throw a little slang, a little cute texty text in there, familying. So all of a sudden, I don't hear anything for about 12 hours, and then I get a response, WTF! I'm like, whoa, what have I said now? So I looked on my messages, and basically Instagram with Jdate, Jswipe, corrected my auto text, and it took it from familying to famming. Now, if you know what that means, it basically means to have sex. So I wrote back, like, look at us familying, and she's like, basically thinking, and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't mean to do it. I was blocked. So I'm off Jswipe. It's over.
Have you ever gone fishing, IJ?
Yes.
When you go fishing, how many lines do you throw in the water before you catch a fish?
I don't know, 1?
About at least a few dozen a day. You only need 1 fish, though, right?
So are you saying I should go?
So you got to keep going fishing until you catch the keeper.
Oh, I get it.
The thing is, the fish he goes out with swim against the current. He wants the ones that go with the current.
So I think social media is like a good place to meet people. Shlomo from Nashville, what do you think?
I think it all comes down to your personality and what your preference is in terms of getting married. If you have a more lax attitude on getting married and you're happy meeting someone organically and getting to know them, I think dating through apps is a very good way to go. Mm-hmm. If you're, like I said before, if you need a house next week and you're desperate for companionship or you're desperate to get married soon or you're getting older or whatever it is, you go through a Shadchan. Either way, you still have to spend your time, you have to spend money, you have to vet people on your own because either way you do it, you're going to come across a lot of nonsense. You have to kind of vet it yourself anyway.
Right.
Have you ever heard, sorry to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
Have you ever heard the concept that, like, God picks who you marry, who's your husband, who's your wife before you're born? Obviously, you've heard it.
It's been said somewhere. Maybe even on this podcast. I don't know.
This is the first time. No, I'm kidding. I heard it.
Okay.
I've never
Some
heard
of us aren't new. Some of us
thing.
aren't new. So if you're like learning for the first time, like, so with that being said, it takes all the stress off, and it makes me feel like, why check the apps, right? If you really believe that, then it's like they'll come into your life when God brings them into your life type of thing. But I see if you're in an extenuating circumstance, like you're getting older, you're divorced, you like are really lonely, anything that is like maybe out of the ordinary type of situation.
You want to be with somebody, yeah.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. I feel like that Jewish teaching always is a reason not to go like through it. Is a reason just to try meeting organically. I don't know. I guess this show's about the.
I will say.
Show's literally not about that. Sorry.
We don't give them the solution here.
We're here.
Don't mention the solution. Just trusting God.
We're discussing it.
Shadchan, yes, let's get it.
No,
let's get it.
We do everything here.
I've never dated with a Shadchan, so I really can't speak to it.
No, so that's good. That's why we brought you on.
And I want to be a Shadchan.
We don't want to give you emotional trauma, so we're going to keep you away from that for now. Yeah.
Oh really?
So
how many have you been through? Is it like you go to like?
No, I don't. It's not really like anything.
Pull up your list.
My list, yeah.
He has a list. He messages them.
List on 3.
I wonder if like
they're not really that difficult to deal with, unless you don't like dealing with like people who are very closed-minded and don't have solutions to like. Or don't understand, or don't want to get to know you.
Never worked a day in their lives.
From my observations through my friends,
from an outside perspective, they're like closed-minded, individuals.
They don't really know you as a person. They might, even if they know your family, they don't know you as a 20-something-year-old. They know you through your parents, or they know you through the yeshiva world. So they're not trying to set you up with the person who you might get along with best. And if you say no to them too many times, they look at you in a bad way. They're not going to want to set you up again. So you feel pressure to go on all these first dates with women who might not, or beforehand, are not going to be for you.
Yeah.
And you can go on tens of dates like that.
But it makes sense though. Like it makes sense to them that if you keep saying no, they're selling you a product, and you keep saying no, they're not going to give it back to you.
Correct. Yeah.
So
that's part
of it.
Some
of it makes sense. It just is. It's a very difficult, arduous process.
Yeah. Onerous. It's onerous. Also, you're dealing with cranky.
It may be onerous. I don't know if we'll put that vocabulary word in there. That SAT
it means
word.
Cranky. People are cranky.
Yeah.
Like, why don't you just go out with him? Huh? Why don't you just go out with her?
Oh my God!
I told you I can't move to Bangladesh. I just can. And
this whole concept
she's in prison there.
You should be more open-minded.
If someone wants to set me up with someone from the city,
he knows.
That's a no.
He's getting. Yeah.
But
he has a live audience here.
Everybody dates with the Shadchan?
Not everyone, but
I haven't. I've done, both.
What the difficulty is now, at least I see for myself, right, having been become more awakened and aware of life, right, is that imagine going on a date with somebody, right, 2 or 3 dates, and then all of a sudden, like after the date, you don't express how you felt to each other, you just express it to an intermediary, right? Mm-hmm. So let's say you like someone, you want to go back out, right? We're going to be positive here. So let's say you had a good experience, and you tell this intermediary, right? Oh, this was I had a great time, this, that, and the other, and the other person, goes back and says, I didn't really see it was a match. You don't get any explanation, you don't get any feelings, and that's really it, and that's all you're stuck with, as opposed to like a mature, healthier relationship where people form them between each other.
But that's not real life. In real life, you don't have a matchmaker being like, fake. Hey, Joe's mad at you, go apologize. Like, what? Yeah. In your relationships, in your marriage. I just don't get this whole concept sounds so foreign to me. And I totally understand how nice it is. It saves you time. It saves you heartbreak. But, like, what is that? It just sounds like really foreign to me. I can't imagine what you guys have been through the trauma. I really can't.
Thank you. Someone understands.
No, because it's like, what's the probability? I just can't. Like, pressure to date someone? If an older woman was like, you better go out with him, to me, I would be like, back what?
So what would you do if let's say your aunt Sandy just came in from town, she flew in from LA, I don't know if you have one, and she's like, oh my God, I bumped into this cute Jewish guy at the airport, and then you gotta go, Allie, you gotta go out with him.
Wouldn't you wonder as a girl if they only went out with you because the Shadchan wanted them to, like told them to? It doesn't even seem like, as a girl, I would have doubts that the guy didn't really like me because he was pressured by an older woman. Like it takes it takes all the validity out of it. Honestly,
I like that. Yeah,
I really don't get it.
Well, a little bit. I'll explain that. So first of all, by the way, it does work for 50-60% of the people out there. So that's for sure.
Yeah, Jewish
that's a great thing, and it does very well with younger people because you're 20, you're 18 years old. You never talk to the opposite gender ever in your life. Some of us were put in the corner of the classroom for our full 14 years of yeshiva. We were just put in the corner.
But here's the thing: how many of those marriages end up not doing so well? at the end of the day?
Probably it's the same rate. To be honest, it's probably the same rate, but they don't talk about it as much.
Something to look into.
Maybe
the Orthodox community won't talk, like you won't see it as much because it's hidden.
Wait, what's hidden?
Meaning like
They hide
the unhealthy marriages or the
divorces.
Like
we don't know who's not happy.
Issues and they stay married.
That makes sense.
And also, the laws are stacked. The divorce laws are stacked against women.
Jewish
in
marriage.
some ways.
What do you mean?
Meaning it's harder for a female to initiate, with the get process. I'm not sure you're aware. The Orthodox
the get
process.
What's a get?
We should bring back the divorce guys on.
Is it divorce?
The divorce document.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're okay. Enough about Avery's.
It's a bit sidetracked.
Avery's ski jumping life
and
career. It
was
great while it lasted.
Jumping life.
So let me ask you. So Shlomo from Nashville, you're basically like you match with this girl. Let's say wherever it is, online, on saw you at Sinai. You're on Jswipe. How does a conversation go?
Typically, it's I just try to be myself because I feel like any girl who's going to like me is going to like me for myself.
Yes.
I start off saying hello. I'll try to comment on a picture or a comment that they put on their profile to try to make a connection. Usually, most of those have to do with country music or country concerts because that's my personality.
I like that.
So cute.
If they have a picture on a farm,
me too.
I can relate to them. And we just
like
start
that.
off a conversation like that. What's your favorite country singer? How many concerts have you been to? Have you been on road trips?
Ooh.
That is most of my conversations. And
so you kind of
we
friend
click like
zone it
that.
in the beginning.
No.
It
goes places.
Oh, hey, I saw you have a little nice piece of furniture over there on your in your selfie over there. Eh?
If you can make a connection
I
of
like
a similar interest, I think that you'd be able to go on a first date at the very least.
Ooh, and how long does that take? Like you
I would say
you say, "Hi, Abigail. This is IJ from the podcast. I like that you like country music. Let's go out."
When somewhat like that. When from the time that you first match until the time that you go out on the first date, probably shouldn't be much longer than like 2 or 3 days, or at least till you get her phone number.
Oh, okay.
You need to get that phone number within the first 2 or 3 days, otherwise the other person loses interest.
And you should move the conversation onto
WhatsApp, onto your
right
personal.
Away?
After a day or two, yeah. Once you see you're connected, you feel comfortable with each other. She feels comfortable in you that you're not some creep. That's a concern of a lot of women.
How do you identify a guy as a creep?
Been waiting to answer this for such a long time. Okay, where to start? If they have any pictures of them holding a fish that they went fishing on a trip, it's an automatic no.
I agree. I agree. If I saw a girl with a fish, I'd be like, yes, I know.
I have one of those.
I'm trying to think of other things.
That's
What
a big
else?
one.
They're from Nashville.
White.
If they say their height, in their profile, I don't know. Some girls like it. I feel.
Height, yeah.
It depends what app you're on. I don't know. If a guy's a creep, he's asking too many. He's asking like redundant questions, like questions where you're just like, okay, like, please,
redundant. Yeah.
What if they're overly flirty very quickly?
If they're overly flirty quickly?
Yeah, and they have a lot of innuendos when they speak.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess
That's
no one
pretty
really likes
creepy.
that.
I've seen in horror stories from friends.
Yeah, no one likes when you too aggressively like slide in.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, how are you feeling today? Oh, I'm feeling good. How good are you feeling? Very good. So you're feeling good.
Or if it's like, hey,
Avery,
beautiful, like, I don't know, it gets me too much compliments every single time. Like,
hey,
what are you doing today,
hi.
cutie? Send me a pic of you.
I personally, I don't mind that. People can
if
tell
a
me
girl
how
was
beautiful
texting
I am all
you,
day.
good morning, beauty. What are you having for lunch today, my beauty? Wow, Isaac, you look gorgeous.
That
And send me a
sounds
picture
like
of you.
that sounds like his Instagram.
I would be concerned for her.
Yeah, I just didn't get the attention that I was younger, I guess, right? Avery, tell us. Are you ready to jump into this?
No. You need to be, what is the word? Challenged. You need to get more out of it.
So you like the fact that
give
when
it all, it's the chase.
You like the shidduch aspect where you don't really know much about the person.
A wise person once said, right?
Yes.
The men love the chase.
Yes.
So you have to keep them wanting more.
Exactly.
Your audience. Draw them in.
Yeah,
Wouldn't
like we
the
said, like we
chase.
always say, Hansel and Gretel, a little bit in the. Anyone Corona crush? Anyone know anyone who got got married or got set up from that Corona crush thing?
What's Corona Crush?
It was basically like
What's
during
that?
Corona, like singles took initiative, so they got together like this Corona Crush Facebook group, and like it ended up having like 100,000 people on it, and they made a lot of matches. People got married from this Corona
Oh
Crush.
my
Facebook.
goodness.
Yeah,
Wow.
I just went to a wedding. They met on Corona Crush.
Wow.
And what you would do is you would post about a friend. I posted about our friend who went down to Miami for that thing. I posted about him.
Like
That
where you
guy.
write a bio about someone and you're like,
Yeah.
this is Mark. He likes long walks on the beach.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I
think
did
that's
that.
So fun. And someone got married from that?
Yeah,
So
no,
you really
many.
can
A
meet
lot of
someone-
people did. A lot of people
Wow,
did. Not
you-
just like one, like a dozen.
Oh my goodness.
yeah, a lot of
It's
people got
totally
married.
like subjective and personal. And some people, you can meet someone literally anywhere, I feel like.
Ooh, can you?
Not in this basement right now.
In COVID, it was hard. In COVID,
Yes,
it was like,
this is
give me
not
the
an
app,
area.
any app, please,
know,
right
any
now.
app.
I'll take it.
I'll Zoom in.
Zoom date, please.
Farmers only. You can't forget. Farmers
Farmers
only.
only.
Farmers only.
Isaac, get registered for 10% off your next Farmers
I
Only
will.
account.
Use code Isaac for 10% off on farmersonly.com, as well as POF, Plenty of Fish, where
Right.
you can use code Avery and get your groove on. That's Avery. Code.
Would you guys advise people to look for relationships in college and expect those to last like a long time? What have you seen from your friends? Because like when we were in college, we go to separate colleges, typically like the firmer community, like, you know. So what would you say about that?
I think that I would advise people in college to focus on getting to know themselves better, growing their self-love,
Mhm.
figuring out who they are as an individual, and then to just see when you can't meet someone if you are not connected to yourself. You can't meet your soulmate if you are not connected to your soul. So I would just focus on people developing themselves in college.
I definitely would agree with that, but I do think that it's very good and very possible to meet during college. I have a couple of friends that met, and they're very happily married. One lives
Mhm.
in Florida, one lives in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Both got married in college.
Anyone from the West Side projects of Borough Park like me?
No one. They're all out of towners.
I didn't grow up there.
Very successful marriages from my point of view.
I think
And they
if it
love each
happens,
other,
that's
so.
great.
Yeah,
But I don't know if people should focus on it.
Right, I don't think I
Someone-
would encourage it, but I think if it happens and they really connect, I think it's a very special thing.
Someone
Yeah.
told me
Know
something.
each other for so long and
Someone
through
told
so
me
many different life
something,
events.
Yeah, I agree. The younger, actually, the better. Like high key.
In a way, yeah.
Sort of. Someone told me something interesting. Well, I forgot who this was, but that when you go to college, don't pick a college based off of where your girlfriend is going. Because you said this? Was it you?
Why?
Don't pick a college based off where your girlfriend is going, because if you guys break up
Sounds very
that next
leery.
year, that means that you're going to be stuck watching her dating some other guy in a school you didn't want to go to in the first place. So
Is that a
sometimes using that mindset into dating now is don't turn yourself into somebody, right, that you didn't want to be. So if that's you became firmer, or, you know, let's say you changed your whole lifestyle for someone else, I would say be cautious, right? Your dating style. You know, if you wanted to find a girl who fits, you know, who's doing dating apps, for example, and you do Shidduchim, right, or vice versa. You know, I would say don't change your being, because if it doesn't work out based off of what they're like, you know, you're going to have to live with that, you know. So I'm going to apply that method to this madness.
Sounds quite leery to me.
Yeah. I thought it was
Well,
interesting.
now, you know, as we approach the end of this wonderful, amazing podcast that I have embraced your presence with again, let me ask you: could there be any remedy? Is there like, could things get bad? You know, from you let's say.
Are we at rock bottom?
You went out with the guy. You know, you matched with him. You know. And like you're like, oh my God, this is not her person. How do you handle this? How do you separate?
Oh, it's a great question. I
Unmatch.
think it's a great question. I think today, as dating is being seen more everybody kind of use it with like a consumer mindset. Not everybody, vast generalizations here, but like consumer mindset. What are you doing for me? Like, you're disposable. Nobody matters because you have access to so many people now. Options, keep them open. Like, when you have that mindset, it's like, can I just ghost you if I don't like you? And I'm against ghosting. I feel like it's important to be emotionally available and emotionally mature in relationships. So I feel like even if you didn't like them, maybe if it's one date you can ghost, but like if it was 2 dates, you should just tell them maybe it's not working out.
Tell them early.
Yeah, I think it's important to be transparent. Even though you can ghost doesn't mean you should ghost.
All right,
like, God's watching.
It's not working out. It's not working out.
I've ghosted.
It's just not working.
All right, Ali. You could leave. Go.
It's the mature way to handle it.
You could leave. Anyone can do your job. You over there. Yeah. Yes, I know you work for the cleaning company. Yeah, can you do his job? All right. Oh, she does. Okay, it's okay. You don't speak English. Come on, look at this guy.
I think
he's replaceable. He's replaceable.
I think the ghost is good if you haven't gone on a first date. Past the first date, you need to do it over text, over a phone call. If you've gone out for, I would say, past a number of dates and you've established a relationship, I would say you need to do it in person. And yeah,
I agree. In person,
definitely,
it's important.
100% in
How
person.
long is ghosting? Like, I heard Avery one time, like, ghosted this chick, and then, like, 6 months later, he answers the question. And she's like, what, WTF? And he's like, what?
Cool.
I like to do a lot of research when I answer.
Yeah, a lot of research. She was like, what did she mean by semicolon or over the colon?
Right.
Just say NP. It's all good.
Oh, that's my
NP.
line. I do NP. NP.
I forgot to add an exclamation point at the end of it. I was like, you have to really think of these things when you date.
How long did you ghost her for?
No,
Like,
I didn't ghost anybody.
Yes, he did.
The NP is
It's a
true,
myth.
though.
It's a myth.
How long can you? Like, let's say you match with some guy. Like, what is an acceptable amount of time for him to just not keep up with the joke? I mean, I know it's a different, reference, but
Like, how long before ghosting is
Yes.
literally like mean, like the
Yes.
wrong choice? I think it's what you said. If you met them in person, you owe them some form of closure, and if you didn't meet them in person, you can ghost. I think it doesn't really have a time length. Like, if you've been talking on and on for a month and you don't feel like replying and you're anonymous, don't reply. Nobody cares, But if you met in person, I mean, people care. People get really attached on the internet, but
there was this one. We went on a Shabbaton. Avery hosted an amazing Shabbaton. We flew in Shlomo from Nashville also, who was there. Next time y'all will come. And I had a great time. Everyone, I love you all. You're amazing people. I can't wait to see you again. And I noticed this move. And I think you guys did also. And I wasn't even interested in the girl, but basically we got mixed and matched with the Shadchanim and the Shadchanits, and so she put some girl down next to me, and she's like, oh, hi, my name's Hillary C, and I am from here. I'm like, oh, very nice. And she's like, oh, you're a great guy. You're a great guy. I gotta find you someone. So right away, you kind of put that blocker up, I have to find you someone. So clearly, like, that's like this. That's like not for me, right? That's like that's basically telling the person to go F themselves. Like, it's not happening. I know it happened to you several times, right? As you told me.
Yes. I did
now
that.
let's say I'm at this party, and I'm at this event. I'm meeting people in person. What's a good way to follow up? Not using. Let's say there weren't any matchmakers. How do you follow up with the person?
I think after Shabbos, it's completely appropriate to ask for a phone number. Continue the
Right,
conversation.
just tell them straight up.
Yeah, listen, I really enjoyed our conversations. Would you want to keep in touch? And then keep in touch for another couple of days. If you find that you're connecting, you feel you and her are vibing, you can ask her out.
Mm-hmm. And now what if she thinks a lot of more, some girls are uncomfortable with that. So they don't want you to.
Buy her tickets to Nashville.
I commend someone.
Get
for
her
doing
tickets to
that.
Nashville.
But she'll condemn you.
Women are very.
What would she be uncomfortable with?
Well, so my friend told me, not me, my friend, on the Shabbatones said he went over to a girl and they hung out. They were like legit, and he was like, he had such a great time. Let me get your number. Let me get your number. And she's like, no, I only go through Shadchan.
And she doesn't like him enough.
No, she's
Or
not
maybe she
mature
does.
enough to
She
date.
doesn't
She
like him
actually
enough.
does.
And she's not mature enough to handle a relationship.
Well, that's a big thing. I was like, bro, look, she's just
That's
not,
it.
she's not mature enough to handle
Despite
the mature
being
part of the
26,
relationship.
27, 28.
Yeah,
some of
I
these
know.
girls-
At what age?
30s.
What age, you people? What age
It doesn't
can
matter.
you grow up?
It does not matter.
People
Age
use
does
it
not
as a
matter.
crutch.
What would you tell your
Sounds like it.
sisters?
Yes.
What will you tell your
Yes,
sisters?
they do.
That's really sick. So instead of facing the fact that like some people you just will have to confront and say you don't like them, people will use it as a crutch,
Right.
as a scapegoat type of thing because they're not mature. You said.
Essentially.
Wow, the
Essentially.
truth.
Well,
is,
that's what I'm
the
saying.
tea is getting spilled.
If she liked him,
Now
she would
you
have been on the
know.
phone.
Now you know what I have to live with.
Oh my
now
God.
you know. Now you know.
Isn't it easier just to take some L's and walk up to people in person and be like, "Hey, I like you. Do you ever want to text me?" Like,
It's
I
easier, but it's
agree.
also harder. It's out of your comfort zone.
because you don't know if
It's
they want to marry you.
awkward. Yeah, they think it's marriage.
The Shabbatones dates are awkward too.
It's
Mm.
all
It's a blind date.
It's all
when it comes down to it.
It's a blind date.
It's a blind
If
date.
it's gonna be awkward, it's gonna be awkward. That's just how
Exactly.
I see it. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's why you got to go to a good place.
A
At
good
least you have a
Shadchan?
good time.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying if you don't know the girl, you might not have a good time with the girl. Might
Right.
as well enjoy yourself.
Where do you bring them to Shabbatones dates?
Restaurant, of course.
You bring them to a
They get
restaurant?
good food.
Oh, yeah.
You're the
I like
best
to go to a
spots. You
restaurant.
can
Yeah.
tell.
Yeah.
You can tell he has the best spots.
Nashville. Goes to
Honky Tonk
Yeah,
Central.
what's it like what's the dating like in Nashville? Might I ask you?
The non-Jewish dating is wonderful. Very casual. Just go to a
okay.
honky tonk.
Okay.
Start line dancing.
Yeah.
The Jewish dating is a little difficult. You have to go to the local shul. They have some functions. They have malava malkas.
You got to go to Chabad.
And you have to be more open to non-religious dating
Ooh.
because
Oh,
there are
okay.
not many religious singles that are there.
Would you be open to her wearing a cowboy hat instead of a shaitel?
She has. That's a must.
It's a must.
It's a must. She also has to be open to me having a scapegoat with Carrie Underwood.
Oh,
That has to be my hall pass. That's in the contract when we get married.
That's it. That's on the list. I heard when you get married, you hand them a list and say, "This is my
Yep.
top 5."
Carrie's
That is
fitting
my
You
prenup.
know, I have Angelina
That's
Jolie,
instead of a
Jennifer
prenup.
Aniston.
We're gonna start fitting Carrie for
Hillary
skirts
Duff.
and
I would
Yeah.
take Carrie's last name.
I would. I honestly, I would take a girl's last name. You know, I was considering it. You know, but that's it's not going to happen anymore.
That's-
You know,
not tell people that.
it's very Gen Z. The Gen Zers are very happy. So
If IJ and Avery come to Nashville, I will bring you to Tootsie's. To
I've
Honky
been there
Tonk
many
Central.
times. Many
Tootsies.
times. We've never hung
We'll
out.
find you some nice Jewish women.
They have coffee.
Yeah.
All right, I'm in. They have golf.
No, they don't have coffee.
They have go-karts.
Go karts.
Was there any? I think I got to my list of this topic. You know, other ways to meet, modern dating. Was there anything else? Anyone else wanted to bring something up?
Is there an easy way to put down a shadchan if you don't like a woman?
Stoning. Stoning usually. Injection, lethal injection. Putting them down like a
Oh
dog.
my God. They're not pushy.
No. I'm just messing.
How do you deal with someone
Put
telling
them
you
down.
that every girl is perfect for you? That can't be.
Yes.
Every shadchan,
I
every
asked,
grandmother.
how do you speak to
aunt-
how do you deal with your mom when she says,
This
you
girl
have to
is
marry this
perfect."
one? The same way.
they're all
How-
perfect.
However you deal with
All
your
of
mom.
these women are perfect.
There you go.
How could that be? How could everyone be perfect? Every woman that has ever been proposed is a perfect person.
Because when they were born, right, they were created perfect for you.
Right.
Or they just expect you to take,
Right.
anything.
And then the concept like.
But they're your
Al
parents.
mentioned,
They'll
the
be
basher.
happy. No, but they're your parents. They'll be happy with whatever you bring home.
This is true.
Except for like a
They
non-Jewish
just want
girl.
grandchildren.
Yeah, except for like, a non-Jewish girl and girls of other ethnicities.
They just want Jewish grandchildren.
Exactly. They don't care.
Okay, so we're going to get to our closing and a lightning round. So we'll be right back after this brief message from our sponsors.
Oh, that's good.
Adam and Eve.
Okay.
I have so many questions, but I'm not sure if I should. Like, I have so many questions in general, but I don't want to like take the theme away from your podcast. Just basic questions, like, how old are you guys? Where did you go to college?
Not on the podcast.
Why are you guys single?
Why are you single?
Don't say it. That's just because I'm like, do all the listeners know? This is such a like.
They want to know. They want to know. I went to St. Mark's Penitentiary. Okay, I'm kidding. All right, we're back. It's episode 58. We're at 58, right? 58. Okay. Modox dating, other ways to date. We're going to get a little bit into a lightning round. So basically, the lightning round, people, you don't have any time to think. I'm just going to say it, and you got to answer it, okay? You got about 5-10 seconds. So I'm going to do is we're going to set up the scenario. So basically, your message, you just you just swiped with this person on some dating platform, okay? And they text you the following. So now I want you to respond, okay? So you connected, so we'll start from this way to this way. We're going to go from Ally all the way down to Avery, Ally, Shlomo, Avery, Ally, Shlomo, Avery, Ally, Shlomo. Okay, so here we go. The lightning round has started. 1, 2, 3. So you start texting the guy, and he's like, wow, you're 24? You didn't look it.
What would I say?
Yeah, what would you text back?
Block.
Immediate
okay, block.
So block or unblock? Okay, I like it.
Block or unblock?
Block or unblock?
I would say, I'm trying to think what I would say. Wow, you're 24, you didn't look at. I would literally just block on truly.
Block or unblock?
Smirk emoji.
Smirk emoji. Oh, I love. See this guy. No, you could do block or unblock or emoji responses. I would do kissy face emoji. Okay, go. Avery.
I'd ask them if they have. I would probably reply with a spam. Like your
spam emoji. Report them.
No, I'm selling something on Amazon for my kids. My wife left me.
Oh my God, I love
those
that.
Facebook spams.
I guess I wouldn't block. You're right. Block is too harsh.
Those are fun.
No, block is too harsh.
My wife left me.
Oh.
Those are good ones.
Okay. That's a cute one. Let's continue in the lightning round here. You got matched, Ally, and he asks you what your favorite hotel is.
Why do you need to know that?
What emoji are you responding with?
I would respond with the emoji where the emoji's rolling her eyes up like this.
I like that. I use that one a lot, actually. Shlomo from Nashville.
Block and report is inappropriate content.
Oh, and Avery.
I say the one her mother's paying for tonight.
Oh, that's the whole point. They ask you what your favorite food is, and then they go ... I can see that you like food.
Sushi.
Oh, you just respond to it. Clearly they're inferring something, like, you're eating too much or something. Shlomo from Nashville.
Invite them over for a meal.
Okay, so invite them over for the meal emoji. I like it.
I would tell them to get LASIK because they must have something wrong with their vision.
Wow, I didn't realize it was an emoji for that. All right.
It's not an emoji.
You're connected with this guy, Ally, and they give you the number to their Shadchan and say, hey, she's going to handle everything.
Wait, why do we have to get her involved? Has it really come to that? Please, just wait a little longer. Trust me.
So a big X emoji, the red X emoji.
I would just beg for the Shadchan not to get involved.
Block and report.
Shlomo.
Block and report.
Okay, fine. All right.
I don't use emojis. That would probably be my response. I don't use emojis.
You don't? Okay. All right.
Inappropriate content.
No, he does. He does not use emojis. No. I know. Okay. Last question. Okay, Ally, Shlomo. I want you to answer at the same time, Avery. All right. You get connected with someone on this dating app. You're having a great conversation. It turns out that you both have a great uncle, Neil, with 7 fingers on his right arm, and you do want to go out with this person, but you realize you're actually first cousins with them. What do you do?
Oh my God! Do you want me to say what I would say?
Yeah, what would you do?
I would literally just say, "Oh
match
my God!"
Match.
Oh, match or unmatch? Those are the only 2 options. Match.
No, you can do whatever you want. Oh, you'd still go out even though they're your first cousin?
I would just tell them, "Wow, it's so crazy. We discovered we're first cousins." So I break it to them easily,
Delivered with such candor. And you?
If they were Carrie Underwood, keep it. If not, unmatch.
I'd go visit. I'd go with them to visit the great uncle and see if he has any money in the will for us.
Money emoji.
That's
okay,
it.
fine.
Money emoji.
All right, I love it.
Are you a newlywed couple or a parent of a newlywed couple? Well, you may have just found your shidduch, but there's another shidduch that our friend Broker Ben can make for you, and that's for your new home. Broker Ben sells houses, rents apartments throughout the tri-state area. He specializes in the 5 towns and Crown Heights. If you need a place to stay for short-term, long-term, to live, and create a house that can build future Shidduchim, reach out to Broker Ben at 516-491-9593, or you can find him on Instagram at the Broker Ben on Instagram.
There's Shabbatones where you can meet also. Remember that? That was fun. And of course, your local community salsa outings. You can meet there as well.
Those are my favorites.
Have you been to one?
Line dancing.
Have you been to one?
I've been to line dancing singles event. Wow. That was pretty good.
Okay. And anyone Jewish was there?
There was one girl who was in the middle of converting.
Okay, that worked. Yep. Avery, tell us a little bit about this topic.
Well, being a classic stereotypical shidduch dater, right? So maybe Ally and Shlomo don't really understand as much about Shidduchim. Although they probably listen to all our episodes and wanted to brush up before they got here, right? They don't maybe know as much as what the shidduch system does to you as a dater, right? Obviously, the expectancy is that you end up, at 18, 19, 20, 21, you create your resume, and you have some, older woman who doesn't really know you so well within the community, get to know you, get to know your parents, and have them set you up through that. Now, recently, my friend IJ and I have had a shift in dating philosophies, and why we brought you guys on, right, is to discuss some of that. So, I'll start with Shlomo from Nashville, my good friend.
Well, Avery, is there for our listeners out there, for the audience, is there anything wrong with trying another way?
I'm asking, what is the other way? Like, how would you don't do shidduchim, right? You grew up.
I've tried it once, not for me, so I do not do shidduchim anymore.
Okay. And
just one time. What happened?
One time. So I met this person in Starbucks, and he was convinced I needed to see a Shadchan. So he gave me the Shadchan's number. I called her up. 2 minutes later, she sent me a girl who was totally not for me, very ritzy, very just like nothing like my personality.
Well, what could you expect? I mean, you had a 30-second conversation with her. Like, obviously,
20 seconds.
That was enough to suffice.
That turned me off to Shidduchim. Since then, it won't go back.
But you are American Jewish dating.
Very American, very Jewish, very typical modern dating.
And this is what you're trying to do. You're trying to find the person. So tell us, what are some ways you meet, generally?
My favorite way of meeting is through friends.
Friends. Ally, do girls do that? Do girls? I feel like girls don't like that.
Girls, I think, prefer meeting through friends because they've already done a lot of the vetting for you, and also it's more organic and natural, so I think everybody prefers that. Right? Who doesn't prefer that?
Second, organic.
We've discussed the whole episode.
Who wouldn't want to meet someone organically? Just because
organic is the best. Absolutely.
Right? And that's
organically, I am a proponent of that.
It depends on your culture. Meaning, I'm not going to bash, non-shidduch daters. But understanding what the shidduch culture is, to them, to the people in shidduchim, that's an organic way of meeting. Having an intermediary within the 4 or 5 dates before you actually get somebody's number and ask them out, that becomes an organic way to create the relationship. And both people are on the same playing field. So in any which way, if you meet a friend, right, in the street, and you meet somebody at your office, you're both working and you both want to get into a relationship, let's say, obviously we do an office episode another time, but like, that's the sort of thing, like, as long as you're on the same playing field, it sort of makes sense. Now, I'm curious why, what your experiences have been from, let's say, dating apps. Both of you guys. I'm hear a little bit
dating apps, yeah.
How has that been? Because I've heard a lot of mixed things about dating apps. There's a lot of creepy guys. The girls are weird. They don't. There's a lot of things out there.
What's out there? Tell us.
You're on one pillar. You're on I'm on one. That could be true. Didn't I get swiped? Didn't we get connected, matched? You have to take it off. You just have to toggle to just women. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, actually, then I would have to also. Okay, forget that. We'll take that out in editing. Okay, guys, ladies, people, episode 58, another episode in the books. Avery, please do our closing and leave the good people.
Okay, I'll carry us on my back like I always do. Again, to close it. I learned a lot today from this episode about dating and dating apps in particular from Shlomo and Ally. IJ, I did not learn as much from you in reference to dating apps, but your story.
I told you everything already.
But your story about the faming.
Oh my!
I'm gonna keep that in mind when I meet a certain somebody. But I really didn't learn. I learned a lot about how you guys, use your dating lives and sort of take responsibility of it. I think that's something that people in Shidduchim can learn a lot from. So that's one thing I'm going to take away from this episode. Ally, what have you ascertained from our conversation, if anything?
I've learned how emotionally, what a toll that this can take. Dating with a Shadchan, it's called? Shidduchim?
Yeah, Shidduchim.
Shidduchim?
Yeah.
Is matchmaker.
Yeah.
Shidduchim dating. I didn't know it took such a toll emotionally on people and caused them kind of trauma. And I didn't know it came with so many complications because it sounds like it's simplified, but it comes with other problems. And it just shows that when it's the right time, it's the right time.
Amen, sister. And speaking of amen, sister, our brother down from the south. What?
Yeehaw.
Your lessons you taken here?
I think in a couple of years, if I become a little desperate, I would go through Shadchan.
Well, we really appreciate Ally. Thank you for coming on. Shlomo from Nashville.
Thank you for having me.
We appreciate
George and Martha Washington.
Your wise, strong words. Avery, we once again appreciate your trundle and your circuitous, lengthy monologues.
Devil snare, they call it.
Yes. Anyway, as I usually end off, this is Nobody Talks Shidduchim podcast. Happy face, smiley face, silly face. You know who you are.
Oh my God, that was so funny.
Ouchies Media Network.